Welcome back to American Wing Chun. I am Sifu Matt, and today is day 22 of our 25 Days of Christmas Wooden Dummy Exercises for Beginners series. Today's video will be talking about the Jum-Sau with a stance turn turning into a Gwat-Da. So this will start off setting up the distance from the dummy as seen in video number 1 of this series. If you haven't seen that, go look at that. So you can start off with a palm already on the dummy. Let's say we'll start with this side so you can see it in the camera easier. So from here, I'm going to sink my elbow in to the middle space between the arms as my other hand's in this Wu-Sau position. And then I'm going to do a stance turn so that I have this Jum-Sau, just like in Sunum Tao. In the Sunum Tao form, we have this position. I want the Jum-Sau to be on my ear line and on the wrist of the arm here. From this position, I'm going to retract that off of the arm and have my elbow lead towards the dummy, and then I'm going to do a Gwat-Sau, which is also in the Sunum Tao form. We have the Jum-Sau and the Gwat-Sau before the Lao-Sau. So from here, we have the Jum and turn, and then Gwat and turn to the center and palm strike. So this facing square position is where the Gan-Sau or the Gwat-Sau is going to be. It's like the Gan-Sau in Sunum Tao in the finished product, but the wiping arm, the Gwat-Sau, goes in towards the person, and I can punch or palm. Again, doesn't matter which one you do. Palming's nicer on the hand, but the technique would usually be done with a punch. From this position, I'm going to have my bottom hand go to Wu-Sau at the same time that I sink my elbow of my punching hand in to open the hand to do a Jum-Sau again and do a stance turn. And then I Gwat-Sau and turn to the dummy. And then I Jum-Sau and do a stance turn. Gwat-Sau and punch into the dummy. Open the hand and do a stance turn. Gwat and punch, and Jum-Sau and turn, hands before the body, and the body turns behind the arms, and then the hands reset, and you have this Jum-Sau sinking elbow, sinking arm effect, but I'm not pushing down with my hand. I am making contact on this inside arm. It's really going to be on the outside of the person's arm that you're doing this to, but I'm Jum-Sauing that, and I'm going to Gwat that same arm into them in reality, but because these arms don't move, I'm going to Gwat into this arm here. So in application, the Gwat-Sau on this arm is still the same arm I was doing the Jum-Sau to. So it presses down and cuts into the body, pinning that arm to them. So if a punch was coming out, and you did a Jum-Sau to defend that incoming punch, and you do a stance turn, you're going to Gwat that arm back into their body to pin it while you hit them at the same time with the other hand. So this arm I'm pinning to them, almost like a Gum-Sau, but with the blade of my arm, into the center. I Jum, turn, Gwat. Jum, turn, Gwat. Jum, turn, Gwat. Jum, turn, and then Gwat and turn back to the center. Do a stance turn getting off line. I'm out of the way of this. But then I'm going to start the arms going back into him with my body turning to the center. I Jum-Sau and turn. This position, again, looks just like that Sunum Tao position. I'm just turned at a 45-degree angle. And then I'm going to start this motion. My Wu-Sau hand will make a fist pointing at him, and I'm going to Gwat into him. So when I do this, I want to be looking still at his face when I'm turned offline. My body is facing forward, but my nose is pointing at his face. And then I turn back square into him. I Jum-Sau and turn, but I'm facing nose to him. I Gwat-Sau back into him and punch to the center or palm strike again, doesn't really matter. Jum and Gwat. Jum and Gwat. Jum and Gwat. Jum and Gwat. When you do the Jum-Sau, the arm is perpendicular to your body. It should not be out with the elbow, and it should not be out with the wrist, and it should not be in too far with the wrist. If you're doing this, you are going to get hit. If you're doing this, you're going to get hit. If you're doing that, you're going to get hit. Make sure it's exactly like in this part of the Jum-Sau form when you do a stance turn on either side, and then you'll be protected. But if you do something other than that, you're going to get hit. So you want to not go way over here, create a gigantic opening for him to attack. You want to stay right at the very edge of his arm. Again, I wouldn't be losing contact with his real arm. That would be using this same arm to cut into him. But to facilitate this, I have to get off the edge of the hand, the edge of the arm of the dummy, and then gwat back square into him. I shift my weight and stance turn off to the side, and then I turn back into him. I Jum-Sau and turn off line, and stance turn back into him down the center. So that is day number 22, the Jum-Sau into a Gwat-Da.